Meeting of the Port Orange Planning Commission will come to order. May we all rise and give the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. First order up for bids is a consideration of the minutes.
Hang
Call
on
the
real
roll.
quick. Yeah, I gotta call the
Oh,
roll.
sorry, excuse me.
Maria Mills Benet.
Here.
Bo Bofamy.
Here.
Tom Jordan.
Here.
Lance Green.
Is here.
Newton White.
Here.
John Junko. Chair Stan Schmidt.
Here. I got so excited the attorney's up here, so I just lost track. All right, now let's go back to the consideration of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2022 meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Looks like we got 6-0 tonight. We have submitted to us a Form 8, which is a voting conflict, and I need to read that first. Newton White from the Planning Commission has a problem tonight on March 24th. Conflict, excuse me.
I have no problem.
It's not the legal term? All right, sorry. I'm an accountant. Come on, give me a break. All right, here we go. I, Newton White, hereby disclose that on March 24th of 2022, a measure came before, will come before my agency, which may inure to the special gain or loss of my business associate. And the items that are the issue are item number 4, the conventional rezoning of 5231 Nova. Okay with that? Not reading the case. Item number 5, the small-scale future land use map amendment at 3741 South Nova Road. Item number 6, the conventional rezoning of 3541 South Nova Road. One of their clients has the Commonwealth Plaza next door to the church, which is in item number 4. And one of the agents and clients have neighboring property to items number 5 and 6. Madam Attorney? Okay, so Mr. White will not be able to vote on 4, 5, and 6.
Mr. Chair, just want to be clear, is he allowed to have discussion on these items?
It's my understanding. Can he discuss, or do you?
Yes.
Yeah, he can discuss. He just can't vote.
Because he's read into the,
So-
because we've read this into the record.
We're good? All right, next item ahead of us is item number 4. And what we're going to do tonight too, we're going to go back the old way, so we're going to have the motion first. So let's go ahead, and if someone wants to go ahead and start off with making the motion for this, then we can go into the staff discussion and our discussion along with the public. So let's do it that way. So can I have a motion for case number 22-6000000, bunch of zeros, 2?
Make a motion for case number 22-600000002.
What's the motion?
What's the motion, please?
Oh, motion to approve case number 2, sorry.
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. And appearing before us tonight is Penelope Cruz.
Thank you, Penelope Cruz, Planning. So before you is a conventional rezoning. Subject property is currently zoned planned commercial development and is developed as a house of worship and a preschool. The current master development agreement for the PCD was approved in 2001, and it restricts the use of the property to the house of worship and accessory uses associated with said use. Although the current PCD restricts that use to the house of worship and accessory uses, I do want to note that the property has had commercial future land use on it since 1989. So the applicant is requesting to rezone the property from planned commercial development to community commercial. If the rezoning is approved, the contract purchaser, which is Chen Medical, intends to redevelop the property as a medical office clinic. and redevelop that in accordance with the community commercial zoning and the development requirements in the land development code. According to their website, Chen Medical is a family-owned primary and specialty care practice geared towards healthcare for Medicare-eligible seniors. The proposed rezoning is generally consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the city's comprehensive plan. It's consistent with the current and future land use of the property, which is commercial, and compatible with the adjacent uses. Staff is here to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant is also here.
What's your pleasure? Do you guys want to
I have
talk
nothing
to
at this
Penelope,
time.
or you want to wait till the developer's up here?
Yeah, I have none at this time.
We're good?
I'm good for now.
Let's have the developer come on up.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Chimura. I'm with Alliance Permitting Service. We're the applicant for the owners of the property. We are in complete agreement with the staff report on this to recommend approval. With me here is the chief architect for the project, Robert.
Kurt Gessner.
Kurt Gessner.
Architect. I represent Chen Medical, I'm the architect for Chen Medical.
I'm here for any questions. Robert obviously can answer any questions pertaining to the development that you may have for the project.
Any questions?
Let's just go down that start.
No, I have none.
Nothing? Newton? Nothing? Maria?
I think I'm good.
Bo?
No questions.
Tom?
No questions, thank you.
Nothing there? I have nothing either. I guess you guys are off the hook. That works
Make
out.
it easy on us.
Anybody from the public want to make any comments? Robert, you got anything for us? Come on up.
Commissioners, Robert Reinhagen, 1425 Dexter Drive, Port Orange. Actually, I'm just looking for a clarification. Is this still going to be a church? That's my question. Are they going to? Is the people from the church gone, and it's now totally owned by this developer, or is he going to be actually developing a portion of the property, and it's going to continue as a church? Thank you.
Penelope Cruz. So our Chen Medical is purchasing the property. The church I've been made aware that the church has asked if they could stay in the property until around December. So they're working that out. They could probably speak more to that. But after that, the entire building would be redeveloped as the medical office clinic. The church will then be relocating as well as the primary school.
Question of that. So when would the tax roll change as far as, because right now that property is not on the tax roll and it will become on the tax roll when it changes hands, yes?
Yes. Typically, when the new use goes in, really it's going to be up to the property appraiser. They may change it right when the zoning changes, but sometimes they wait till the actual new use goes in there.
Right.
If this rezoning is approved, as soon as it's approved, at that point, if there is a gap in time where after the zoning is approved and before the church leaves, the church would be considered an existing non-conforming use during that time period if they allow them to stay for a few more months, and they're aware of that.
And then there'll be obviously some building changes and some building permits and things like that coming?
Correct. The architect could probably speak to maybe what they have
Right.
envisioned as far as internal building.
But today we're
improvements.
talking about zoning, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Newton?
I'm only curious about what the building is going to look like, what the plan is. I mean, that building, I believe, started life as a supermarket sometime back in late 1970s. So it'd be surprising if you could reuse the same structure, so I'm kind of curious what you're going to do with it.
Do we need to get into that? I mean, we're just.
Today's a zoning thing, yeah.
Yeah, tonight
It's
is
a
the
zoning deal, so-
zoning. We would have to review
all
all
right,
that.
that was
yeah.
my only curiosity
Okay.
with it. I'm happy to see something.
Penny, before you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Chen Medical primarily is going to be building out the interior of the space and the building. They typically, if they do anything on the exterior, we put windows in. Maybe we'll add a window or close a door or something simple. But Sometimes they paint, but generally it's all interior build out. So they're not looking to add additions or change the facade in any way that's significant at all.
What about the parking lot, the access? You have that one drive that goes in there. Will they be, I guess they'll be modifying that as well.
Yeah, because I'm not that familiar with the easement that's on one side of the property, but the main drive that comes in.
Yeah.
That's where patients will park and staff will park in the back. And
Yeah, it's kind of a sharp turn there as you come off Nova Road, and people fly down that road there.
Right.
Yeah, it's on a curve.
Yeah, it's a little. I've been down that road, but if needed, we can extend the the turnoff lane possibly, or whatever the city recommends. But generally our when we've built out other centers, it's typically all interior and minor stuff on the exterior. So yeah.
All right, so tonight we're just worried about the zoning change, so any questions on that?
I'm good.
Maria, Bo?
I have a question for Penny, and it's for my own edification. On the CC zoning, the permitted uses, there's 3 levels of permitted uses here. Does this, now this is just for me, can this be operated, can any one of these services be operated here without going before a commission or a council?
If the rezoning is approved, then anything that's listed as a permitted use would be a use that's of right. Anytime there's a change of use in the city of Port Orange, though, there's a use inspection, and if there are sometimes there's site upgrades that are required based on the change of use, because different uses have different parking requirements, different buffer requirements, things like that. So it wouldn't just be an automatic, it would be an approved use by right, but there might be some site upgrades that would be needed. If it's a permitted use with special development requirements, the use would only be allowed if it was able to meet those special development requirements. And if it's a special exception use, it would have to apply for a special exception and come before this board and the council for approval prior to going in.
But not for the special development use, or requirement use, that doesn't have to come before council?
No, if they meet the criteria that are the special development requirements, it would not.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the possibilities here. And, okay, thank you.
Tom?
Yeah, I wanted to clarify earlier, you said, so if the church stays in there, that's just gonna operate as a non-conforming use?
For that time period until, they asked that, and I'm not sure if they've agreed to this or not, but they asked staff the other day, they mentioned that the church would like to stay until December, and if that would be okay if the zoning was approved. And we stated that they would just be an existing non-conforming use. They wouldn't be able to do any kind of expansions or changes or anything like that.
Right.
They would just have
That's where I was going.
to continue current operations as is.
Stays the same, can't make any changes.
Correct.
Is there a limit on how long they can occupy that space and operate as a church?
Not necessarily. I mean, if they were to ever vacate for 6 months or more, it would not be able to go back then.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments?
I'll follow up on
Yes,
that
sir.
question. But so again, when the code, when the usage changes from church to CC, is that when the tax changes as well? So they might be operating as a church, but the
Somebody's
medical
paying.
place
That-
owns it.
That's really at the discretion of the property appraiser.
Okay.
I've seen it both ways. Typically, they say that they don't officially change the taxing until the actual use changes, like the new business goes in. But they may go ahead and do that. It just depends. If they see that the ownership has changed, they may go ahead and do that. But that's really the discretion of the property appraiser.
Right, okay.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing no further discussion, will the clerk call the roll, please?
Maria Mills Benet,
Yes.
Bo Bothamy,
Yes.
Tom Jordan,
Yes.
Lance Green,
Yes.
Newton White,
Abstain?
oh yes, sorry, Chair Stan Schmidt.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0 with 1 abstention.
Welcome to Port Orange.
There we go. Our next two cases that we have to consider both relate to the same property. So if you don't mind, we need two motions. We need a motion for case 5 and a motion for case 6. But all the discussion we can just do, and then we can have 2 votes for just efficiency in handling the cases here. So I need a motion on case 5.
I make a motion to approve case number, make sure I get the right one, 22-20000001.
Second.
And I need a motion for case 6.
Make a motion to approve case number 22-60000001.
Second.
All right. We have proper motions and seconds on both case 5 and 6. And appearing before us tonight is Mr. Gideon Smith.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gideon Smith, Planning. So the subject property is located at 3741 South Nova Road, about halfway between Dunlawton Avenue and Herbert Street. The site was previously used as a bank up until about 2019, but it's now vacant. So you have all aboard storage and AutoZone to the across Nova to the west, a shopping center to the south, a few residential lots to the east, and vacant wooded land to the north. So the first item for consideration tonight is a small-scale amendment, future land use amendment to change the designation of the subject property from office residential transition to commercial. So this future land use designation allows for development of community-scale businesses along arterial roads, consisting of a variety of offices, personal services, and retail. So if approved, the applicant intends to redevelop the subject property as a multi-tenant commercial building. Staff reviewed the request based on the criteria of the amendment in the Land Development Code and found that all requirements have been met. Staff also reviewed all existing public infrastructure as required by the state and found that there's existing capacity is available for these public infrastructure, and that the request would result in a net decrease to the impacts to these facilities. In addition, this request would also result in an overall decrease in density and intensity when compared to what could be developed on the site today. So staff is recommending approval of the request because it's compatible with the adjacent properties and land uses. It fits locational criteria for commercial uses in the commercial node at Dunlawton and Nova, and will promote the redevelopment of the property. So shifting gears, second item for consideration is to rezone the subject property from professional office to community commercial. Community commercial zone district allows community scale businesses that are typically found at shopping centers and out parcels. These businesses such as retail, personal services, restaurants, and offices. And then, as I mentioned previously, if this is approved, the applicant intends to redevelop the site as a multi-tenant commercial building. Staff also reviewed the request based on the criteria in the Land Development Code and found that the request is generally consistent with the comprehensive plan and is also compatible with the surrounding land uses and zoning. So overall, the subject property has been used as a non-residential site for the past several decades. There are other community commercial zone land to the south of the site, and there are provisions in the code that require a fence or a wall to be built to the rear of the property in an effort to buffer the site from the adjacent homes there. So as with all development, any proposed changes will be reviewed by the Staff Development Review Committee to ensure all code requirements are met, and any proposal will be subject to concurrency regulations at the time of development. Staff's also recommended approval of this request based on these factors, also because it's appropriate for the location and it's generally consistent with the future land use designation we discussed previously. And with that, concludes my presentation. The applicant's here and can answer any questions.
Come on up.
Good evening, my name is PJ Singh. I'm the owner of this 3741 property. With all respect, if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer within my capacity. I guess I'm not a technical person,
We can help you out. Maria, would you like to start us off?
I was a little confused about the fencing to buffer the neighborhood. Is that something that you're doing?
Not right now. If it's needed, we can do that.
Oh, okay. I was confused about that, but I'm good. Thank you.
Bo?
No, no questions. Nice piece of property there.
Thank you.
Tom?
No, thank you very much,
Mr. Green?
I have a couple questions, and again, I'm gonna say that first of all, it's the best looking building in Port Orange because I built it. And,
Oh, is that right?
I did, and I hate to see it. I hate to see the bank close, but a couple concerns I have, and I'm curious to know because it's a very it's a nice piece of property, and I'll be the first to tell you I don't believe we need a wall in the back because it's a very natural area. But my concern is do you know what's going to happen to the drive-through? Is it your
Drive-through,
intention to-
actually, our plans are, I'm sorry, go ahead with
Is it
your
your
question.
intention to enclose the drive-through and make that into the building or part of the building?
A part of the building. We are going to expand right below, that's what the plans are right now. The drive-through we will use to build up the walls in between and, make it like a retail shops.
In between the drive-through aisles?
That's right, that's right. And expand the roof and, follow all the guidelines, whatever the city has as per the construction and blueprints are concerned. I'm sure my architect will follow all those rules,
Okay, I guess my thing is, and I appreciate you wanting to put this property on and get it going, is that it's a one-tenant building, and I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna make it a multi-tenant building out of what's there.
Well, actually, we are making it L-shape, as you guys know the location. Building is right now off of Nova Road. We will planning to make 6 shops this way and 6 shops going from west to east.
Okay.
And that's how we are going to make a L-shaped shopping strip.
So it won't have a circle driveway around it, or you will not be able to?
Well,
drive?
depends
Or do
on
you know
the
yet?
tenants. We are going to put place a sign, build to suite. If we find a tenant and, who needs a drive-through like a pharmacy, like
Okay.
pharmaceutical company, these days the pharmacy. And if the space area allow us to do that, within the city guidelines, we will do that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Newton?
6 stores, how much square footage per store are you looking for? What range of square
I
footage?
think it's the normal size, the way, like if you have seen next door, the Bell's Plaza is there, right on the corner of the Nova. It's going to be 20 by 60. That's the required area is. And plus, again, it's built to suite. If we find a franchise who needs a bigger space, then we will build it accordingly.
Okay, sounds good.
So I guess that was just my comment too, is are we gonna flatten the building or are we just gonna add on? So from what I'm hearing you tonight, you're gonna really just modify it so that the drive-through is gonna go north and south, and then are you gonna go back toward the back property line to get the?
Exactly. That's what the
east-west?
plans are.
Okay.
Modify and add on, both,
Okay. And then I guess on that consideration, you'd have to talk to your potential tenants too, is would anybody need to get a truck back there to unload so that they can have a loading from the back of their stores or their offices or whatever it is that they're needing?
Exactly. I think my architect, we discussed about it, and I'm sure he will find the best way to accommodate everybody.
Okay. And that's coming up later on when we get to the site. Right now, we're just looking at the zoning and the land use. Any other questions from the commission? Any other questions from the public? Anybody? Okay, hearing no questions. We have 2 votes here, so if you would first vote on number 5, which is the change in the comprehensive future land use. Would you read that, please?
Maria Mills Bonet,
Yes.
Bo Bofamy,
Yes.
Tom Jordan,
Yes.
Lance Green,
No,
Chair Stan Schmidt.
Yes. And we have 1 abstention.
All right, Maria Mills Bonet,
Yes.
Bo Bofamy,
Yes.
Tom Jordan,
Yes.
Lance Green,
no,
Chair Stan Schmidt.
Yes. Again, that passes on a 4-1 vote with 1 abstention. All right, that takes us to point number 7, the changes to the land development code. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve case number 22-25000002.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Penelope, you wanna lead us through this?
Yes, sir. Penelope Cruz Planning. So as you recall, in October, we adopted a new sign code for the city, and as staff has been working in that code, there's been some amendments that have been identified in order to improve the code as part of our ongoing maintenance of the land development code. So there's kind of two items here. There's some clarifications that are basically just cleanup items to the code. And then there's new requirements for roof signs. So with regards to the cleanup items, they're really just to address some formatting typos, other inadvertent errors and omissions, none of which affect the content of the code. The next item is regarding roof signs. Currently, the Land Development Code does not allow roof signs in the city of Port Orange, and the proposed amendment is proposing to add requirements to allow these roof signs only for businesses in the Down Under and the Riverwalk Special Character Districts of the Port Orange Town Center CRA. So if approved, the roof sign area would come out of the total maximum wall signage area that a business is allowed, meaning that there would not be any increased wall signage area or increased commercial signage area for these businesses beyond what's allowed in any other commercial development in the city. The intent is to really provide some alternative signage options for these properties in these two special character districts based on their unique location and based on these two special character districts being designated as entertainment and commercial destination areas in an effort to provide that flexibility and further support the city's redevelopment efforts. So staff is here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Lance, you wanna start us off on this one?
And again, you know, this is my favorite subject in the whole city. And, and I think we've done a good job with what we've done here in the cleanup, and again, I appreciate what we're doing, trying to make it better. It's, everything looks good.
Newton?
I'm happy with it, actually.
You're good?
I kinda
Okay.
like, I remember that they had the signage that was on one of the old places down under that was up on like 4 poles, that was way up high. You could see it going over the bridge.
Showing
And-
your age now.
Just
That was
a little bit.
long time ago.
And I know another person that might remember it too.
Who, Tom?
No, Bo.
Thanks, Lance. Thanks, Lance. Appreciate it.
It occurred to me that we're approving this now, and I wonder what special exception, or were they grandfathered in from before it was annexed when the big ugly billboard was put up?
Are you referring to a sign that was on an actual business or the ones at the corner on the posts?
She may not have been born. So just saying.
If it was on a business, it more than likely was put up before our regulations, and it
Yeah,
was
I
something,
think
you
that-
know, so.
Yeah,
that's the case.
that's
If
probably
you're referring to
yeah.
the ones that were on the corner there, that was part of a special agreement with all the businesses down
Yeah,
there.
no,
And we
not the
hope to
ones
get
on the
those
corner.
reestablished, yes.
I
so.
can't remember what that business was.
But this requirement would not allow tall, so it's got a height restriction, so you wouldn't be able to go more than 4 feet above the roof height there.
Right,
So
right.
it wouldn't be able to be that tall.
Yeah, it was tall.
Yeah.
Now, what about the billboard? Is that in the city grandfathered in, or is that in the
That's in the
county?
city. It's part of a legal settlement agreement with that billboard company. Without getting into a lot of the details, several billboards were removed in replacement of getting that one. So that's all I'll say about that, I guess.
It's a nice one. It's lit up.
It's nice.
Yeah, could be a lot
It
worse.
lights up Halifax Drive just fine.
Maria?
Thank you.
No questions. I like it. I think it makes total sense for this area. I really do.
Bo?
I don't have any comments or any questions. I have a comment. Unattended children will be given espresso and a free kitten.
We tried to use funny examples.
I love it.
You got a kitten?
No.
If you're
I'll
really
have espresso.
serious, you'd give them a potbelly pig.
You know, the only thing I have a concern with was the roof signs, and as soon as I saw the title of this, I thought of Las Vegas and, you know, the big signs up on the metal framework that says, "Welcome to Glitter Gulch."
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Those are a lot taller than what's going to be allowed here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know?
Big glitter swale.
I think,
Well, and the other issue I have is as soon as we allow a sign in one place, we'll get requests for signs in other places. And then we start having to worry about variances and things like that. So I'm cool with everything else and it changes. I'm just hesitant on the roof signs. I'm not a fan.
So just to speak to that, and that's fine. Everyone has your opinion.
Thank you.
We tried to make sure we addressed that the reason this is limited in location was because of the unique location of these two areas and the way that they've been designated. And so we tried to document that in the staff report. So for, if there are future requests, we've documented why these specific locations are the limited area where this would be allowed. We also tried to limit the ability to have these very large signs that you see in some of those areas, like Las Vegas, by having that maximum height of no more than 4 feet above the roof, and also making it so that if you have a roof sign, it comes out of your allowed wall signage. So you have to kind of make a choice there.
I know a lot of lawyers that look at paperwork we do and say, you know what, you did it over here once, so you should allow it over here now. And we've been bitten by that before.
But I think if you're only allowed X many square footage signage, it's a matter, okay, if you choose to put it there because you're in that zone, that's all you get.
that's right.
Because you're in that zone, right?
Because you're in that zone.
The
Yeah.
CRA, yeah.
Only that zone.
And not the whole CRA, just those two special character districts.
Because at one point in time, we were talking about signage down by Herbert and Nova and putting big donuts and big boys and all that up on the corner.
Yeah, that
and-
didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it didn't.
The area redeveloped on its own differently.
Lance was hoping for a statue of him.
No,
Bigger
I was
than
looking for
the
the
building.
donut.
I miss the big boy.
I think the one thing I was
Right.
questioning too is, we've got the Riverwalk area in there. And, of course, we don't know. I mean, we've seen drawings of what it may look like. And I don't remember seeing anything like a rooftop sign on that project.
We
But
don't
we're
have
a
any.
long ways away
Yeah,
from
we don't
doing
have anything at
anything.
that level
Yeah,
yet.
okay.
But the restaurant area would make total sense to
Well-
have that.
Well, they haven't officially submitted their wall signage yet, but they're pretty close to their maximum wall signage already, so they
So-
wouldn't be able to have additional
Yeah, no
signage
more
without
of
some
that.
kind of amendment request.
Yeah, maybe once we pass this, they'll change their.
And it kind of makes sense on the down under area, especially if it's
Under-
somewhat visible as you're going over the bridge. You can see
Yeah.
what's down there. I can understand that. The stuff by the river is kind of like, I'm not sure. But like I said, we're a long ways away from seeing anything there. At least what, a year,
And the
year and a half.
idea there is with mixed-use developments, a lot of times they're designed with kind of like this internal pedestrian kind of focus. And sometimes you have to have some of these unique signage to get the attention of people to come in there. So it's not just the people living there as part of the mixed use, but you want to draw other customers in as well. And
Didn't Sweetwater's have a roof sign?
They did.
I think they did.
Yeah, I
They
think
did.
they did.
I do remember that one.
What was Sweetwater's?
I went there many
You
times.
can try.
The only thing I was thinking of
Fail.
is, at one point in time, there was consideration for 2 condo towers to be in that area. And would they have, like, for example, a leaky 1 and a leaky 2 in there or something like
So
that?
the way the code is written, it's only for the mixed use areas
Okay.
in the Riverwalk, and
Yeah.
that portion of the Riverwalk is not
Not
the,
considered
it's not the
mixed
mixed use district.
Okay. That's all I had on that. Any other questions from the commission?
So then you're protected by the district and the
Use
the
type.
area of it is and the usage. That specific area is in this little writing.
Correct.
Okay.
I want to understand if they're only allowed so many square foot of signage. So if they take it off the side of the building and put it on the roof, it's the same amount of signage, whether it's on the roof or on the building. It's not growing another sign.
No.
Correct. You have,
You got
you
your
basically
tenants.
have.
Then would they still be able to have a monument sign or
Yes.
something?
Yes, the monument sign is different. There's a variety of different sign types in our code, projecting signs, wall signs. Now, if this gets approved, roof signs, canopy signs, all of these types of signs in the table that lays out the criteria says it's subject to the wall signage square footage limit. So although there's a lot of flexibility as far as sign types, there's a handful of them that all count towards wall signage. So you have to make choices about what kind of signs, but we allow the flexibility for you to choose what kind you want.
Right, well, that's what makes it good for me, is you can have it here, you can have it there, but.
But
Can't
not
have both.
everywhere.
I just picture a Waffle House being built over there.
Oh, gosh.
Somehow I'm thinking
Lance
that's not
would
gonna
die.
fit
I'm
in.
sitting here losing it.
Yeah.
I knew he was,
Here we
I
go.
knew he was
It's
gonna
gonna
work.
be on the roof.
Anybody from the public want to comment?
Oh, man.
Any comments from the public? No comments from the public. At that point, I guess we're ready to have a roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Maria Mills Bonet.
Yes.
Bo Bofamy.
Yes.
Tom Jordan.
No.
Lance Green.
Yes.
Newton White.
Yes.
Chair Stan Schmidt.
Yes. This one is passed on a 5-1 vote. All right, next up for bids is the commissioner comments. Maria, we'll start with you again.
I don't really have anything, other than this was really quick. What is wrong with you guys?
Junko wasn't here.
We even had signs and we were.
I know, we even
Waffle
had
House.
signs. Lance
I
like
tell you.
reined it in. I'm so proud of him. I'm good.
Bo?
No, nothing.
Tom?
I'm all set, thank you.
All right. Lance?
Again, I just appreciate the staff, and when we go into these things, that the information that we're given is preparing us as a commission to be able to do our job, and I want to just commend the staff for another good job this month. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Newton?
I have to thank staff as well. It's amazing the things that's going on in the city and the development that is coming. And it's good to see our city prospering and working hard to do it. And staff is a big part of making that happen.
I have no remarks either. Staff? Tim? Penny? Anybody?
Oh,
Come on, Tim,
Tim.
real quick. Come on, you gotta come
Come
up
on.
real quick. I saw an update that
You
was
thought.
like mid-July on the opening. Is that looking good?
That's what we're hearing for fish.
It's looking good. Looks like it's accelerating a little bit, huh?
Yeah, we got a new supervisor out there in terms of construction, probably in around February there, and it's really taken off there in terms of the improvements and the building going up. Then,
Nice.
so
So you're optimistic?
yes.
Good deal. That's what we need to know.
Yay.
I thought I heard from Mr. Brock that they were ready to turn it over to the interior guys. The shell was pretty much done.
Yeah, they're. I mean, you go inside there now. They're putting sheetrock. The kitchen's getting FRP in there. So they're moving along with a lot of the interior work. I think now we've got some exterior, basically some of the light fixtures on the second floor is going in. So they're starting to basically round the corner there in terms of making it look like when you walk in there, restaurant, on there then. So it is moving along nicely.
So the drive up by boat bar's coming soon?
We're working on that.
Perfect.
I have a question. Is that pit out there on the road in front of the city quarters here, is that a speed deterrent? Why is that there?
Oh, outside on this.
Yeah.
We had a repair for, I believe, a reclaim water there, and basically they were waiting to do the asphalt repair here shortly then. But that is not a speed deterrent. That was a part of a some infrastructure.
Bo was so
Well,
disappointed that he
infrastructure
had to slow down.
It's a new
Improvements.
obstacle, so you can kind of.
Yeah,
I thought
infrastructure
that's
improvements then.
from
So.
up front.
With the rain today, that it has grown into a crater that
Yeah.
you could lose a Fiat in there.
Or a
I'm
pizza
sh-
guy.
Yeah.
Or a pizza guy.
I'm sure Public Works
You know,
is
one
aware
of
of it.
those
And they'll
little-
have it addressed.
One of those little smart cars.
Any other questions, comments for the staff?
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the public?
Robert is our only
Come
public.
on, Robert. Come on, Robert.
Nothing, Robert?
All right, hearing no other comments or questions, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and second that we adjourn. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sorry, we already left. We're done. Thank you.